Hey everyone, so I'm doing something a bit different on the channel today. I am outside, as you can see, and not in my house for once. I thought it might be a good idea that if I go somewhere to highlight it through video to see how accessible it is for people. So if you want to visit that place, you'll know kind of yourself what to expect. So today I am in Tollymore, sorry, I'll put the spelling up with that. Park up in Newcastle in Northern Ireland, and I'm going to be using my smart crutches, but as I go along I'll take note of like steps and just how bumpy things are. So if you've got a wheelchair, a rollator like I sometimes have, then you'll know as well kind of what to expect. There's my lovely husband. Say hello, lovely husband. Yeah. So that's it really. I'm going to get my knee brace on and my smart crutches, and I will take some videos. As you can see, there are several disabled parking spots, which is great. The map here, what we see in black is the hardest. Yeah, from what you saw online. Blue, oh, it tells you there. Okay, so blue, no steps or gullies, slight gradient, right? So red, steps, gullies, tree roots. That's very good. Like, this is probably one of the best I've ever seen, especially in a forest park. You know, natural things, it's hard to make them accessible. Obviously, you know, it's not like when you're building a building or anything, you know, like a hotel. So that's good to have those details at least. So what do you want to do, Simon? Start with, where do you think we should go?
River trail.
The bridge? River trail, that's red. So there's some steps, gullies, tree roots, more of a gradient. Yeah, I think we'll be okay with that. What do you think?
It's up to you. The disabled one.
I think...
The other one's only like 700 metres. The red, blue one. It says here what's on.
Right, okay. So...
This is some nice plants or some shit.
Okay, I think we'll try the red trail because I've got my crutches today, as I said already, my smart crutches, and I've got my knee brace because my knee's not great. Yeah, let's try that. We're gonna go with the red trail. So yeah, something I would say about the red trail is that it is quite steep. So maybe if you had like a good power chair or a manual chair, but you were being helped by someone, it's very smooth, at least the ground. So that's a good thing. It's a plus. It's still very beautiful, but we just saw a condom there on the ground. I probably shouldn't show you. I have no idea where they were, like. Gross, lads, get a grip. These are surrounded by beauty. These are horrible, horrible people. Red Trail's taking us down here, which is a bit stonier, maybe a bit steeper, you know, for particularly if you've got anything with wheels, like rollator or wheelchair, because I know like sometimes when you have wheels it's like going across stones, but it's still not as bad as a lot of forest parks I've been in. There's quite a lot of stones and bumps along here, and just tree trunks sprouting up, so it'd be quite awkward here, definitely in parts of this on the red trail, to go across with wheels. Again though, not as bad as a lot of forests, but that's just something to keep in mind, that if you are in a wheelchair or using a rollator, it's very pretty. After that main bridge there, you're going to come across these kind of trails. So this is very not accessible. So the red trail is probably out for you if you need your wheelchair, because there'll just be no way around these kind of tree trunks here coming out, the actual trees themselves, with the stumps coming out of the ground as well. So wheels would be a no-go, unfortunately. If you can use smart crutches and want to come somewhere like here, then I would highly suggest that, unless you take the lesser trail, But again, I don't know what the lesser trail is like. You kind of say it's like as if the main scenery is a bunch of flowers, you know, so it kind of didn't sound great, to be honest. So I'm glad I have the crutches. I would say that this trail is not very accessible. In fairness, they do state that on the thing, you know, that there is quite uneven ground, as you can see here. Actually just saw a young boy in a wheelchair going down the way we came from up that way with his family, so maybe like it is kind of accessible, maybe if you have help. He seemed to have quite a good wheelchair, like sporty looking one almost, you know, that kind of way, like small and compact, and he's got a load of family there to help him. So you know what, like, you know, it's possible, it's obviously possible because they're after going down that way. I don't know, maybe if they've gotten stuck down there or realised, but you know, they seem pretty confident, so that's cool. We've just spotted this really pretty thing up here. I think it's like a little hobbity house thing. I'm going to investigate that for sure. So there's these steps up here, but there's also a more accessible route up here, which we're going to. So I kind of just wanted to show a bit of the walkway, not just all from my angle really. As you can see there, it's quite stony and bumpy, so as I said, I did see a young boy using a wheelchair, quite a good wheelchair, and he had a lot of family assistance. So I suppose from that point of view, if you had a good chair, mine's probably shit, but if you had a good chair, you might be able to do it with some assistance, especially if you're a young child, easier to kind of carry and lift up some of the tree stumps and things like that. So just stopped for a drink of water and thought I'd do another little video. It's all very beautiful and pretty. I'm not sure how long we've been walking for, about an hour, but you know, I'd be quite slow. Obviously I'm stopping every once in a while to take videos and to hydrate. The good thing about it is that if you, mobility wise, you can do it. There are lots of places to sit, even just like, I mean, there's little tiny makeshift and really old benches and old walls and things, even just like here, I mean, you could easily sit there, do you know? So that's probably a plus if you can walk around. we only have another kilometre to go. It was about 5 kilometres this, is it, Simon?
Yep.
So I think I only have one more to go. Just came across all these logs here. It says not to go up there, but the red arrow's pointing down here anyway. And these box things, I have no idea what they are. I like this place because like every part of it's totally different. We're not near the river now, even though this is technically still the river trail. Yeah, it's just really nice and really different every time you turn the corner. And there's just some random cool things. There's Simon taking a photo of some random machinery, I'm sure to show his dad later. Jimmy will love that. Coming up there, it was really steep at one stage, so I'm absolutely wrecked, I have to say now. So just for those coming with mobility aids, that's something to take into account. Okay, better start this trail again. This gobshite is just taking sticks as we go along, and they're getting bigger and bigger. You really don't need this. We're on what I think is the last leg of this journey, and I've taken my knee brace off just to give it, just to try and work a bit the muscle. If you have EDS, then you probably know that if you're dislocating badly, bracing's really good, but then also it's good to make the joint do some work as well, so you wouldn't brace 24/7. So I put the brace on today because my knee was dislocating badly, but I thought to take it off for the last leg of this journey just to try and work the muscle a little bit. So going down the slopes are particularly hard in that respect, and I'm not as stable. Also my eyesight isn't as great today, which is also impeding me, thanks EDS. So last bit of the journey is pretty difficult. Finished. It did say that it was just over 5 kilometres. I don't think that's exactly correct. Simon was checking on his phone thing as we went along, and it did seem longer than that apparently. So I suppose just a few things, as I said already, you couldn't really go with a wheelchair on that line, but I know you can obviously go on one trail and then move to and from one to the next as you go along, you know, if you see something easier to do. The only thing is try not get lost. We bumped into one couple who had no idea. They hadn't picked a trail to go on, so they had no idea, I suppose, where they were going to. And we just told them, look, we're on the red trail, so if you go back the way we came, that should bring you back to the car park. Just follow the red lines. They didn't even seem to know about the trails. So that's one thing to take into account, obviously, don't get lost. Same if you're anywhere like this. It's very large, so it's probably one of the largest forest parks that I've been in, I think. I feel like I didn't get to see a lot of it, but I'm very proud of myself, obviously, because I'm disabled and all these things are harder for me to do. So yay me for doing an average thing that people do all the time. And I'm absolutely dying and I need to go home to bed now. So just a couple of things really, just a couple of basics. The car parking is £5. You pay that as you come in. There's a machine. As I said, there's a few trails then at the start. And they also have camping here. I'll put down the website link if anyone wants to check that out, so that if you can't make it for the day like we can, you can always camp. And it looks really cool actually to camp here, especially in the summer. I think this would be very amazing to camp in. So that's really everything. I'll put all the details of that into the bio.